What's up, guys? Kool-Aid here, and I got a Battlefield 3 commentary today. Today we're going to go over the new patch notes, and there is a lot of them, so this might be kind of lengthy. I'm not going to hit everything, but I am going to read a lot of these, so I guess pay attention and try and pick out the things that you want to hear. Alright, we'll start at weapon balancing, reload timer adjustments, short and long reload reduced for the SCAR L, AEK, F2000, AN94, AK74, PP2000, G3A3, SKS, MG36, JNG90, MK3A1, SCAR H, SVD, and QBZ95B. So all them guns are going to have both of their short and long reload reduced. That means the reload when there's completely empty and when there's still rounds left in the magazine. Long reload reduced on the AUG A3 44 mag KH2002, PKP L85A2, QBB 95, 1911, and MP7. Short reload reduced on the M417, FAMAS 93, EBR, M416, PP19, and QBU88. Short and long reload increased on the AS-VAL. Long reload reduced. Short reload increased on the M4A1. And long reload increased on the P90. So moving on to the damage output and range adjustments. The UMP will get increased close range damage, but reduced damage over range. So it'll be better in close quarters. And apparently the PP2000 is getting its long range damage increased, so it'll be more of a mid-range, low recoil PDW. This says. So the UMP and the PP2000 kind of have reverse roles. The 1911 is getting increased minimum damage to make it better between the magnums and the high capacity pistols, which that's awesome because it seems like nobody really uses the 1911, and it is one of my favorite handguns. To see that get buffed a little bit is nice. The 93R is getting reduced damage and range, as it was an obvious go-to pistol compared to the other high capacity sidearms. Its recoil, however, has been reduced for a smoother burst action to counter the reduced damage. I'm just reading these kind of little notes they have on here. Little tips. Maybe that comes with premium patch notes or something. 12 gauge frag rounds. These rounds have been adjusted to do their damage in a small area, but be more consistently to apply the maximum possible damage. That's good. I mean, they were pretty bad. They're probably still not going to be the best option. AA slightly increased the damage of the AA against infantry. The AA was simply over-nerfed in a previous update. The AA guns now also properly do damage to main battle tanks again. 12 gauge buckshot close range damage has been slightly increased, so that's good because it was far, other than frags, it was the worst shotgun ammo. Slightly reduced the range penalty of the suppressor on the SCAR H, increased bullet velocity of the coax HMG, making it easier to hit targets over long ranges, increased the maximum range of the 40mm flechette, and tightened the cone of fire for more consistent damage levels. Slightly reduced the range bonus added by the heavy barrel on the 5.56, 5.45, and 6.5mm assault rifles. Slightly reduced the range penalty of the suppressor on the 5.56, 5.45, and 6.5mm weapons. Slightly reduced the range penalty of the suppressor on the SCAR H. Slightly reduced the range penalty of the suppressor on the 5.56, 5.45, 6.5 weapons again. And slightly reduced the range bonus added by the heavy barrel on all them calibers again. And increase the damage of the M5K. What? That one I don't get, because that with increased damage is might be my new favorite PDW. I already absolutely love that gun, is laser beam, but I guess not having 40 rounds, it needs something else there other than just the ridiculous accuracy to make it better with the other PDWs. I don't know. It seems pretty good to me. Alright, moving on, there are some recoil changes. The SG553 horizontal recoil reduced to make the weapon more controllable. The MG36 vertical recoil reduced. The M416 vertical, horizontal, and first shot recoil have all been reduced. Jesus. I mean, that gun is already one of the best guns in the game. I don't understand why they're buffing it. It makes no sense. M16A3 recoil increased slightly. M4A1 recoil increased slightly. G36C vertical and first shot recoil amounts reduced. M16A4 and M4. These weapons have been adjusted for the increased recoil they have. The burst versions of these weapons give the player a reduction in horizontal recoil for greater control. So, looks like the burst versions are going to be slightly better in recoil than the fully auto, which makes sense. Moving on, we have miscellaneous weapon changes. The FIM-92 and IGLA now lock onto air vehicles at both lower altitudes and longer distances. So those are getting buffed a little bit, it looks like. Added burst fire to the M5K as an available fire mode. Increase the bonuses provided by a number of bipods. That is a little silly, but for the bipods on the F2000, G3, M27, M416, PKP, Type 88, FAMAS, MG36, looks like all have their bipods buffed. I don't understand that. Belt-fed machine guns are now more accurate when standing and firing while aiming. This affects the M240, M249, Type 88, PKP, and LSAT. 44 mag rate of fire reduced slightly to highlight this sidearms role as a slow firing heavy hitter and differentiate it from the MP from the Rex. I don't get that either. You know, the Rex, most people prefer the Rex over the 44 mag already. That's just going to make it a little even more in the Rex's favor. Increase the fire rate and reload time of the Rex, so buffing the Rex a little bit more. And yeah, same thing. Remove burst fire from the L85 and added single shot to the L86. You guys, I don't know if you guys ever watched. I had a lot of fun burst firing with the L85 for a couple days. It's actually not a real option on the gun in real life, so that's why they're removing it. Slightly increase the radius for maximum damage of the 40mm LVG. While the overall damage level remains the same, the LVG will be lethal over a larger area. So bigger explosion radius. I haven't really used the LVG, so I can't really talk about that much. Reduce the aimed accuracy bonus of the M417 with a suppressor. Increase the aimed accuracy bonus of the ACWR, L86, LSAT, they actually say MP5K, but M5K, and MTAR with a suppressor to balance it with other weapons in the game. And that's it for the miscellaneous weapon changes. So moving on to the weapon fixes. The underslung weapons on the AUG and SCAR-L now properly benefit from a hipfire accuracy bonus of a laser sight. The SOFLAM will no longer lock on your own vehicle if deployed and not immediately activated by the player. The SCAR-L fixed the heavy barrel not increasing recoil when zoomed and standing. Corrected some incorrect descriptions of clip sizes and bullet types for the M5K, LSAT, and ACWR. The PKS-07 is now available on the QBB-95. The M417's foregrip was incorrectly reducing horizontal recoil by too large an amount. It has been adjusted to be balanced with other foregrips. The ACR foregrip, the MG36, QBB-95, and RPK extended mags, as well as the RPK and SKS heavy barrel, are now able to be unlocked and equipped in the accessory screen. Fixed an issue with the incorrect damage for the M320 Buck when used with certain attachments, and the MK3A1 now uses flechette rounds instead of frag rounds in Gunmaster mode. I know a lot of people did not like that. I didn't seem to ever have that big a problem with that compared to the LVG at the end. I thought that's much worse. But anyways, moving on to vehicle fixes and tweaks. Removed flares from the gunner position in the helicopter. That is slightly ridiculous, I think. Right now, helicopters are fairly easy to take down, or at least to kind of render useless if you just want to put a soul flame up. I mean, there's certain things you can do that just absolutely make helicopter pilots' life hell already. To remove flares from the gunner seat, it's going to be very hard to put together, long runs, even with coordinating with somebody on like a voice chat. But I guess whatever. I haven't been flying that much anyway lately, so I guess it's not a huge deal to me, but just kind of shitty, I think. Air radar now shows friendly vehicles. Helicopter weapons can now destroy equipment with splash damage. If that actually works against soul flams, that's really good. The laser designator unlock on the scout helicopters has been changed from a pilot upgrade to a new stance in the co-pilot seat, like the CITV turret. So that's kind of cool, I think. Repair tool damage against enemy vehicles lowered by 10%. I don't really understand that. Changed reload behavior on tank destroyer cannon weapons to prevent being able to fire 2 shots from different weapons quickly, one right after another. I'm guessing that applies to stuff like the main gun and canister shell on the tank. I'm not sure though. Firing mode can now be seen from the vehicle passenger seat. You're allowed to fire your own weapons. Fixed the hit indicator showing when entering a vehicle after previously shooting a soldier. Increased the damage helicopter and jet rockets due to helicopters, jets, and infantry. Increased the damage helicopter gunners and FIVs due to helicopters and jets. Fixed jets not getting top attack damage bonuses on laser designated targets. So out of that, I really don't like the whole gunners not having flares, but they are buffing choppers in a couple other ways with the rocket damage and the being able to hopefully kill soul flams now. But anyways, that's all I'm gonna go over. The rest of these are like UI fixes and little things like that. But just by reading these, there are a lot of things I like, and a few things I don't like. Main things I like off the top of my head are the little buff to the 1911, the little buff to 12 gauge, hopefully the ability to actually kill soul flams in a helicopter, and the slight nerf to the M16. It's been needed. Also the slight nerf to the 93R. Seems like those 2 weapons are easily the most used weapons in this game. Few things I don't like are all the buffs to the M416. Now that gun, that's going to be the new M16. There's no doubt about it in my mind. That gun already was one of my favorite guns. Lots of people already use that gun. It really was a top, I'd say the 3rd or 4th best assault rifle already. So the reason they're buffing that is beyond me, but they are. So I guess we're gonna have to get used to seeing that all the time now. The other big thing is removing flares from the gunner seat. I don't think that's going to be, real smart idea. I think choppers have enough to worry about already, and jets, really rule the air if there's a good jet pilot already. So I think that change kind of sucks. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about all the changes, and hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it wasn't too boring. But also, this does come out September 4th. I should probably say that. But anyways, thanks guys for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Dude's gonna go out of bounds in a second. Nice.